Hello, Africa. My name is Eunice Tony, and this is eTVGhana's African Women's Voices show, the show that tackles issues pertaining to women as they contribute to national development. I am so sure that a lot of you are wondering what's she having on her head. I haven't worn a fascinator on this show ever, but today I'm feeling really regal and fabulous thanks to Rennie's glitters. Rennie's, I'm loving this particular fascinator. It looks so good. I love the color and I love how I look. If you've not gotten your own kind of fascinator, I think you need to check Rennie's Glitters out, okay? Check her out on Instagram and Facebook and make a choice. And you know, interesting thing, the prices are really friendly. Yeah, you see this very gorgeous thing on my head. You may feel I've paid so much money for it. No, it's very friendly. So please try her out, okay? I've got other responsible brands who are looking out for me. Afariwa Styles, thank you for my dress. I'm feeling really good. Lizzie's Tomato Mix, #1 tomato mix here in Ghana. Thank you so much for giving us delicious jollof rice and katenkwan, pepper soup, light soup, okra stew. Thank you so much for all the beautiful things you are doing to our food. And interestingly, we're going to be discussing food security because World Food Day is on the way coming, all right? So I need you to sit back and enjoy. I've also got somebody who takes care of my hair. That's Awo's Hair. And Chana Sheto, Ghana's #1 pepper sauce. Thank you so much for adding that spicy feeling to our meals. Those who love it really hot and spicy, there's a variant for you. And if you love it mild, there's also another variant for you. So quickly, I'm going to be moving you up to the 60 seconds update segment where we tell you what's happening with women in Africa and across the world. Do stay tuned.
Expert in trade facilitation and customs modernization, Valentina Minta, has been elected as a member of the Board of Trustees for Contemporary Art. Ms. Valentina Minta is the founder and the former Chief Executive Officer of West Blue Consulting, a company that successfully developed national single-window platforms for Ghana and Nigeria. Under her supervision, the company significantly improved trade facilitation, which led to multi-million-dollar savings for governments of the two countries. Ms. Minta is also the founder of eAnansi, a UNESCO-backed network of libraries that seeks to improve literacy in Ghana by providing young people access to high-quality contemporary literature. In 2020, she made history with her election to the Executive Board of the International Chamber of Commerce, the first African woman to be elected in the 102-year-old history of the ICC. The head of the Department of Psychiatry at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Professor Angelo Furiata, has urged journalists to be tactful in their reportage about persons living with mental illness. Speaking at a media training and orientation on mental health organized by the Psychiatry Department of Kolebu Teaching Hospital as part of its celebration of the Global Mental Health Week, she noted that mass media, due to its reach and exposure, has the unique ability to alter perception and sway public opinion. She does advise the media to humanize mental illness in their reportage and offer hope and support to persons with mental illness. She, however, complained of the limited space in its wards, being the smallest ward in the hospital, to accommodate more patients and called for support for its expansion. Ghana's First Lady, Her Excellency Mrs. Rebecca Akufo-Addo, and the Vice President of Costa Rica, Her Excellency Epsi Alejandra Campbell-Barr, will both attend the 2021 Guba Awards in Accra. The awards, to be held on November 8, 2021, will mark a centenary of the passage and resilience of Nana Yaa Asantewaa, the influential warrior and Queen Mother of Ejiso, who rose to lead an Asante army against the British. The confirmation of attendance by the First Lady, according to Guba's President and CEO, goes a long way to affirm the importance the First Lady attaches to issues concerning women and the need for them to be recognized at all levels. These events will observe an important moment in African history, one that is unique to the relations between the Republic of Ghana and the Republic of Seychelles, and is expected to host several high-profile personalities from the diaspora.
And you're welcome back to the show. Those of you who were able to watch the 60 seconds update segment, we heard about the situation in our mental hospitals and how advocacy is going on as to how people need to empathize with them, give them hope, and treat them well. Those who have got mental sickness are no less human beings. They're just like we are, and we don't need to treat them differently. And that brings me to this video I want to share. Well, everyone knows that October is a pink month, and we always talk about breast cancer awareness. And somehow it also happened that within the same month, we had the World Mental Health Day. So Team African Women's Voices show, in the bid to give hope to all those who are battling breast cancer and mental health, we put something up that has really gone let me not say viral, but it has really gone round. And a lot of people are enjoying it. The feedback has been fantastic. And if you've not seen it, I'd like to show it to you. So let's see what Team African Women's
If you're not a friend of me, enter the light, 'cause you can never kill my vibe.
So did you see me? So even if you're battling breast cancer, mental sickness, whatever it is that you're battling, they cannot kill your vibe. You just need to keep dancing, keep a positive spirit on, and I mean, things will always get better, okay? Right, good. So getting to the business of the day, my guests are already here in the studio, and I mentioned earlier that we are talking food security because World Food Day is going to be commemorated on the 16th of October, and that's not far away at all. So we looked around and we said, okay, who can we talk to be able to bring us abreast to what is happening when it comes to food security? And we looked around and we saw very, very smart ladies that are going to help us out. And I need you to sit around your tables or before your phones, whatever it is you're using to watch us right now, and hear this conversation. Towards the end of the show, we open the phone lines so that you make a contribution around food security and what you have learned that we all need to do to ensure that there is zero tolerance to hunger. We do not want to tolerate hunger at all. Okay, so starting from my right, we have Deborah Pablo, who was here just about 2 weeks ago from Nestle. She is back, and I am so excited to have her here. Deborah, you're welcome. Thank you. Yes, and we've been talking about Miss Agriculture here on eTVGhana. You know, we actually outdoored it on the 9th, on Saturday, and I know a lot of you watched it because you're ardent viewers of eTVGhana. Today, the organizer of this pageant is here, and she's going to talk to us, around what she's actually doing with the pageant and how she's going to, through this pageant, ensure that there's food security and that people gain skills even after the beauty pageant. So you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You have a fantastic name, and I would like you to actually tell our audience your name.
Okay, so my name is Ohineba Akusia Chirwa Yebuagansa.
Hey,
Charlie.
Did you hear it all? Please say it again.
Ohineba Akusia Chirwa Yebuagansa.
Wow. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
All right, so talking food security, some other person watching who may not really know what food security is all about, don't worry, we'll keep you updated, okay? We're not talking about, policemen standing or military people or force people having to stand to guard our food. No, that's not what we're talking about. Food security has got definitions, and we're going to let our ladies tell us what they feel food security is, and then we take the conversation from there. All right, so Deborah, let me start with you. So when we talk food security, what do we actually mean?
Okay, so not to bore us with any technical definition, let's bring it home and let's make it a women's conversation.
Great.
When we're talking about food security, we are looking at having food to eat today, tomorrow, the future, okay? And when we start looking at food security, we also have to look at the nutrients that we need from food. I'm sure when we get into the conversation, we'll get into the details of it, because there are nutrients, food is for a purpose, okay? And that food is important for our well-being, our health and well-being. So what is it in the food that we need? I mean, from those of us in manufacturing, food security is critical because we need inputs to manufacture the foods that we put out. And so, I mean, for those who can recall episodes like 83, we know what it means. when we talk about food security, because that is when we had a situation in this country and people had money and they couldn't find the right foods to buy. So food security in my layman's definition is having food today, having food tomorrow, and having food for the long haul, the right kind of food that we need to nourish our body for production, for the animals that we also need to nourish, and not only for today, but for the future.
For the future as well. So what would you want to contribute to food security?
Adding up to what Mami said, I think it's also looking at people who are producing the food, how best we are taking care of them in order for them to be able to produce more so that we can still have food all year round.
So you mean the farmers?
Exactly. People who are in the production aspect. So as much as we are looking at making sure there is food each and every day, those who are also making sure the food is available, their welfare should also be taken into consideration. That as well can also be considered as that.
Part of the food security. You know, Deborah mentioned something around what happened in '83. You may be watching us and you have no idea of what happened in '83, okay? So we'll just talk briefly around it so that you understand where we are coming from and why we do not want to get there again. Do you get me? Yeah, we don't want to get there again. So those who experienced it know that it was not fun at all. A lot of Ghanaians even had to migrate and go to Nigeria and other parts of the world because they couldn't stay within the country. So Deborah, could you just you know, reminisce and tell us, you know, some of the things that happened those days, you know, for people to understand that there is need for this food security.
You're making me feel very old.
Oh no.
But I was old enough at the time to understand some of the basic things that were happening. So I was not, I was a little girl, but there were some episodes that stuck with me. So just sharing those ones. I recall one Mrs. Latte who bakes bread in the area, and for some reason around the time, we were children, so we didn't know what was happening, but around the time people queued at her gate, and my mom will ask you to go to Mrs. Latte, but don't say you are going to buy bread. So go and see her, and then you go and see her, she'll give you a stool, you sit by her, you wait for an hour or two, the bread is ready. Because at the time, people queued before the bread gets into the oven, okay? So you wait, and then when the bread is ready, she'll wrap a few for you, and then, fine girl, you walk out of the gate and you take it home.
Wow.
I recall eating a lot of yellow corn, you know, because we were really used to white corn, and yellow corn was very common at the time. And coming from a typical Ewe family, we ate banku virtually every day. You know?
And it had to be yellow banku.
Yellow banku, you know. And as children, we couldn't tolerate that. We ate a lot of wheat, you know. So I have some very favorite moments with wheat. I really love wheat as a child because I ate a lot of it, you know. So these are the few things we could recall. And I know my mom rationed food a little bit. We were not hungry, but food was not as available as I mean we had in earlier years, and gradually we saw ourselves transition out of that. So even as a child, I still remember what happened in '83. We queued for food, we rationed food, we ate things that we were not used to, and portions were well controlled as well. So just a little to share as a child from
Amazing. Amazing. In fact, we don't want to get there. So that's why we're having this conversation today, and all hands on deck. And knowing very well that women play vital roles when it comes to selection of food and, you know, providing food in the home, we really want to have this conversation with you and hope that we'll get a better future out of this conversation. All right. So I'm coming to you now. You are organizing a pageant. And someone may ask, why a pageant? Agriculture is not supposed to be for fine girls. So what is this thing you're doing around having ladies come and, you know, display themselves, and you say they are doing something around agriculture? So please make us understand the reason why you're doing this.
I think that is one thing we've been trying to clear, or one notion that we've been trying to clear. Agriculture, you and I can go into agriculture. Over the years, people have the perception that people who have not gone to school are those who are supposed to do agriculture or agribusiness. People who are not beautiful are supposed to go into that. But we are saying no. in this generation, if we are focusing so much on the makeup and the costume, but afterwards we will eat. And if we will eat, when the generation of our mom is past, what happens to us, the young women? Mommy mentioned the issue about 83. I'm not sure we want to go back to that generation again, no. So how do we protect our future? And we are the future. We, the young people, are the future. How do we portray agriculture very attractive or sexy to the young woman to know that, hey, you can also go into it. Somebody is producing, and women actually form majority of the labor when it comes to agriculture. But as they are producing, who is there to add value to what is being done? So that is what Miss Agriculture Ghana seeks to portray. We are saying agric is interesting, it is sexy, you can go into it. Going into agriculture doesn't make you an illiterate. Going into agriculture doesn't mean you cannot slay. You can as well slay, you can do the makeup, and then still be a guru when it comes to agriculture. So with Miss Agriculture Ghana, we are trying to portray the attractive nature of agriculture, and then also make sure that our young women gain skills. Because this year, looking at our pageant, there are episodes where we are going to show where we took our ladies to our industrial tours, and then they got to learn how to add value to potato, the orange flesh sweet potato, kind courtesy Casa de Ropa, making potato pizza. These are something that most of Ghanaians don't even know, that we can even add value to our potato or most of our raw materials that are available. So Miss Agriculture Ghana is portraying the attractive nature of agribusiness to the young woman, and also making them gain that skills so that whatever is being produced at the other side of the chain, they will also be able to add value to it. And then whatever is being experienced years back, we wouldn't have that again. And also clear that notion that agriculture is for the aged or it's for old people. No. You're a young woman, you can go into agriculture. From the farm, that is your office. When the doctor or the lab technician goes to the office, they put on their lab coat, they dress very well from the house. But I think because if we met our mothers going to the farm and then they just wear...
Yeah, agriculture was a dirty work. So if you're going and you have a nice dress, you have to take off the nice dress and wear something
Thank
really
you so much.
rugged.
You see, and then even in senior high school, we see that as a form of punishment. If your senior wants to punish you or headmistress, go and do this. But we are saying that now there are a lot of machines that even make planting very easy. You have your earpins, some short knicker, and then you'll be planting. You'll be working at your backyard. It's very beautiful. So you and I, any other young woman can go into it. That is the message we are trying to preach. And then also trying to speak to our mothers who are already in the sector, that those days of you dressing anyhow to your farm, let's try and change it so that as a young woman or your daughter coming up, immediately she sees you accepting what the field in which you are, which is actually feeding the nation, they will be able to appreciate it and then know that, hey, this is not just any sector, it's a sector that is actually helping and contributing. So we need to as well get into it. So that's basically the whole idea about Miss Agriculture Ghana. Okay,
so in a nutshell, what she's trying to say is that they are making agriculture very attractive. Very, very attractive. So by the time you see all the beautiful girls who are involved, you'll also be moved to get into that space as well. Fantastic. I like it when you said that we're looking at how the future is going to be built, like when we look at the young girls as they grow. And that brings me to Deborah, because we're going to be talking about the theme of World Food Day. And we see how it's linked to what you're actually doing now, so that people get to have a better understanding that, okay, there's something actually happening in the agricultural space. Let's all join. So could we highlight on the theme of World Food Day this year?
I think we have a very interesting theme this year. So you know, World Food Day is celebrated annually on the 16th of October, led by the Food and Agriculture Organization. Okay, and globally, countries commemorate this day to highlight the importance of food, to deal with things like poverty and malnutrition and other things. So every year the theme is very special. And I think this year's theme is even super special because it's looking at our actions, our future, better production, better nutrition, better environment for a better life. I mean, what a theme. So everyone can find themselves in this theme because every action you take today determines the future that we have. Okay, we are talking about food security. How are we taking care of our environment? How are we ensuring that the land that is giving us the food is taken care of? How are we taking care of the farmers she mentioned? How are we even managing the food that we have? Because then from input stage, you need to make sure you don't waste. From planting, you don't waste. Post-harvest, you don't waste. Transportation, you don't waste. And then on the family table, you don't waste.
You don't waste at
But
all.
there's a lot of waste in the food chain because everyone is taking it for granted that this food needs to be protected. The land needs to be protected. I think the theme is very, very important. For us as Nestle, we are in the production. We are also making sure that the foods and beverages that we put out are nutritious. We also work with farmers who are in our value chain or supply chain to ensure that the input that gets into our production is also quality, okay? And the world is looking at sustainability and actually looking beyond sustainability, because once you start talking about future, we need to start looking beyond sustainability and start looking at things like regenerative agriculture, regenerative food systems, sustainable food systems, and we need to do it together, okay? So we are focusing on the part that is very dear to our heart, which is the foods that we put out, and make sure that they are nutritious and they are meeting the nutritional needs of the population. So I think it's a very beautiful thing.
It's really beautiful because we talk about the actions we are taking. Your action is to actually make ladies get involved in agriculture through the beauty pageant and for them to also learn some skills. So we'll be going for a quick commercial break, but before we go there, I know some of you are itching to get to see how these ladies look like, the ladies who are involved in Miss Agriculture. We are going to show them to you, all right? And then when we return, we are going to expand more on the conversation around food security. So do not forget, we're going to take your questions. So get ready for the phone lines when they get to be opened. Do not go away.
They are intelligent, beautiful, classy, trendy, and guess what? They are farmers. Yes, Miss Agriculture Ghana 2021. Watch episodes of your favorite agro beauty pageant, Miss Agriculture Ghana 2021, as 11 ladies battle it out through their projects for the ultimate title as Miss Agriculture Ghana 2021. Miss Agriculture Ghana, starting Saturday, 9th October 2021, and any other Saturday right here on your favorite channel, eTVGhana. Miss Agriculture Ghana 2021. Beauty with purpose. The female agriculturist with taste.
And you're welcome back to the show, and it is eTVGhana's African Women's Voices show, and it shows every Wednesday at 8 p.m. If you're joining us for the very first time, you're welcome. Just enjoy the rest of the show, okay? So before we went on the break, I said I was going to get back to Deborah to continue the conversation around food security, but I know in your mind, some are saying food has become really expensive these days. When you go to the market, you don't even find enough vegetables, you don't find enough yam or plantain, you don't find enough cassava. Everything is so expensive. That is food crisis. And this is because we're not producing enough for us to be able to consume. And even those that we've produced that are in the rural areas, transportation has made it that it doesn't get to us. So we find them in the villages and they're getting spoiled, and there's nothing we can do about it. Those of us in the cities also do not have access to these food items, and that's food crisis. So if everyone decides to be able to do something, even backyard gardening, you will not need to rely so much on the market. Because if you need your garden eggs or your pepper or your cocoyam leaves, as we do in Ghana, we take a lot of cocoyam leaves, you know, you can just get it from your backyard and not depend on what is going to be brought to you, you know, through the markets. So I want to believe you're thinking subsistence. However, we have got a brand that's into food production and manufacturing here in Ghana here with us. So we would like to see what role they're actually playing to ensure food security from their side of the chain.
We're doing quite a few things. You know, we produce food and beverages in Ghana, and we buy some of our raw materials that are available in Ghana right here. So for instance, we buy our rice, we buy our maize that we use for the production of Cerelac right here in Ghana.
Thank you very much.
Wow,
See, you know, you mentioned
great.
earlier that we need to take care of these farmers who are providing the food for us. And here we are seeing that the products they're using, producing the final goods, they get it from the farmers here. So you're enriching our farmers.
And a company like this doing this, I think that is
really commendable.
Really commendable.
Thank you.
Sure, because we believe in local sourcing. We actually commit to local sourcing of our raw materials. So everywhere we produce, as Nestle, we look within the environment. If there are raw materials that we need for production and they are there in the quantity and the quality that we require, we go for it. If we don't even have the quality and we can support stakeholders, or we can work together to bring up the quality, we do that. So that's exactly what we are doing for maize. Okay, so the maize that we use for Cerelac production is quite high quality, and we have standards that we don't compromise at all. And so we work with our farmers from their input stage to the planting stage to the harvesting, post-harvest, and then we have suppliers who also do aggregation. They go through other processes to make sure that the maize that is delivered to us meets the quality. It gets to us, we do other checks to make sure the quality is high, because we are producing Cerelac for babies, so we make sure the quality is very good. And so we don't just wait at Nestle factory and ask the maize to come. We work with the farmers and our suppliers and the people who within the chain to make sure we get the right quality. We do same for cocoa. You know, we have what we call the Nestle Cocoa Plan that also work with cocoa farmers in 4 regions in Ghana who are planting cocoa and making sure that the cocoa is growing well. They are helping the farmers on the agronomy practices, when to apply fertilizer. Of course, with support of partners, our partners that we work with on the field. We have Ecom Ghana and Beyond Beans. And of course, Cocoa Board also coordinates a lot of these activities. So through partnership, these things are done, and those cocoa are purchased and shipped to countries that need cocoa. Because you know, cocoa from Ghana is premium cocoa.
Yes, it is.
So we buy cocoa from Ghana for Europe and other places. So these are some of the things we are doing with farmers. We also support these farmers. As she said, you need to support the farmers. So we support farmers within our cocoa planting regions and districts with water. So we have what we call the sustainable water and sanitation projects in these communities, where we provide them with boreholes and provide them with sanitation education, hygiene education, so that they can be well, they can be safe, so that they can continue to produce the cocoa in a safe way.
Amazing. So talking about food crisis, how I mentioned earlier that people may be talking about the fact that it's becoming expensive and it's not affordable. Could we just take a look at what it is that we can do on our own to ensure that, you know, this food crisis doesn't impact us the way it will if we don't do anything at all? I mentioned the fact that we should look at, you know, gardening, you know, in our backyard. I'm also looking at, if it's possible, stakeholders, could we go back to the schools again and get children involved in farming to make them really understand the essence of farming? Because sometimes when children are alienated from farming, even if mommy is planting, they don't really, you know, they don't appreciate it, they don't get closer. But if they are taught to plant the maize, the beans at school, when they come home, they will want to definitely practice it, and that's how it begins. Do you have anything else we could add to it?
I think first of all, or most importantly, I would say the awareness creation aspect of it. It all boils down to the mindset, how we be able to change the minds of people to appreciate what we produce here in our country. And then even when we produce, how the distribution goes, or how we love what we produce here in our country. First of all, like you spoke about our schools, how do we get the children to appreciate that whatever you buy from the market, you can as well grow it yourself. If you grow what you eat, it's healthier and it helps as well. And issues about this food security, when there is abundance of food, when you feel like eating this and it's available for you, it makes things easier wherever you find yourself. So first of all, creating the awareness for people, or the young people, to appreciate that whatever we are looking out for, or whatever we want to ensure in the future, it's possible, and it's possible now. We need to start that now. If we're able to start that awareness creation in our schools, basic schools, our universities, wherever we find ourselves, especially with this Miss Agriculture Ghana project, we have most of these young women from various universities who speak to some of these basic school students about the importance of agriculture. So I think it's very important. One for me is the awareness creation. If we can change our minds, or our mindsets can be changed as to the importance of ensuring food security right from our basic schools, it will help in the coming years, I think so.
Yeah,
Amazing.
just want to add, I think sometimes when we talk about food, we like to look at the the cassava, the maize, the kokonte, the banku, maybe the granite soup and all that. But a very important component of food is the micronutrients that we get from the food. And we eat a lot to satisfy hunger. It's good to satisfy hunger, but we also need to start thinking deliberately about what we eat. We need to eat to satisfy and to nourish the body. So nourishing the body is very different from satisfying hunger, okay? Because for satisfying hunger, once you are full, you are okay. But if you need to nourish the body, then you have to look at the micronutrients that is in the food. So if you are eating, for instance, instead of eating kenkey and pepper and a little bit of fish, I love kenkey, so that should be good. But you can actually look at a bowl of beans, okay, with a little bit of oil, with some fried plantain on the side, or even without the fried plantain, and you are good, because that food is heavily loaded with micronutrients that are needed. We have started what we call the Live Strong with Iron campaign, and we are calling stakeholders to join us, because that campaign actually focuses on educating and highlighting the issues of iron deficiency, because iron deficiency is very common. And the last time we came here, we spoke about iron deficiency, and the conversation goes on. And the statistics are not very funny. Not impressive at all. Yes, they are not impressive at all. And the conversation should go on. So let's eat to nourish the body. The issues that we have, micronutrient deficiencies that we have, let's focus on them. As a company, we also contribute in our quota. So we fortify our foods and beverages to make sure that we can also be part of the solution. So you see Cerelac, we have iron in there. You see Nido, we have iron in there. Maggi Shroom, we have iron in there. We have the Ideal powder, which you call the Ideal Dairy Delight. We have iron in the Milo has iron and other micronutrients. So, and we have other Maggi products that have iodine, because iodine is also another micronutrient that we should take care of. So fortification is important, especially for those of us in production, because we also support part of the solution. But the responsibility is at the individual level. What are you eating? How are you nourishing the body? When you are buying something and it's packaged, are you reading the label? Are you looking at what is in it? Is it going to help you satisfy hunger or nourish the body? If these things are conversations that we should focus on.
Great. So I'd like to go to our Facebook page to read the comments that have been dropping there, and they are quite interesting, really good. So I see a lot of waves. You know, anytime we are on Facebook, we see people waving at us from across the world, and I'm acknowledging your presence right now. I see your wave from Madagascar. I see a wave from Morocco, from Mauritius, from Algeria, from Cairo. I also see a wave from the UK, from the United States of America. I see some waves from Japan, from Malaysia, from Indonesia. I see more waves coming from Italy. Wow, thank you so much for watching us all the way from Italy. I'm happy that you're watching African Women's Voices show, so keep sharing, okay? I'm coming down to most parts of Africa now. I see various waves from different parts of Nigeria. I see from Abuja, from Enugu, from Oka, from Nsoka. I see from Kaduna. I see from Zamfara. I see from Kogi, and I see from Nasarawa. All states within Nigeria, they've all linked up and they are watching. Food security is important to everyone, and I'm happy that you're joining in. Coming down to Ghana, I see waves coming all the way from Tamale. Thank you. From the Volta region, I see your wave. I see waves coming from Salt Pond. I see from Sunyani. I see from Ketekrachi. I see from Lubatota. That's in Volta region. Okay, I see from Volo. I see from Axim. I see from Hafasini. All of you are sending your waves. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And those I couldn't mention their locations, please forgive me, okay? Accra, I see you. I see you. I see you. So let's go over to the comments. And our first comment is from, he said his name is Foster Ricky. Okay, Foster says, I'm enjoying the conversation. I'm happy with what the women are saying. However, I also have other challenges I would like our stakeholders to address. Fine, they are listening, okay? I want the stakeholders to address the issue of access and availability, because some of us have the money to purchase the food, but it's not available to us. So we need stakeholders to find ways to ensure that food is available to us when we need it. All right, Foster, the stakeholders are listening, and I'm sure that they can hear you. However, you know, we also made some contributions here saying that you can also start your backyard gardening. So start that while you wait for the stakeholders to do something around it, and keep enjoying African Women's Voices show. Okay, so I'm seeing a message here from Lorraine. Lorraine says, I'm a woman who is really interested in agriculture. However, when I look at the incomes that come to women in agriculture, I feel very depressed. So she's talking about, you know, the benefits that come to women, even though they are so involved in agriculture, the benefits are not the best. Stakeholders are listening, okay, and the conversation will not stop. We've been having this conversation around how we can motivate women to continue to do what they are doing in the agricultural space. And it's getting better. It hasn't gotten there yet, but it's getting better. So you know what? Join, okay? Join. Don't just stand on the side and be depressed. Just stay away from the depression, okay? And join the wagon as we keep preaching about food security and what people can do. And as we continue to talk about it, I'm very sure that the change we are seeking would come. All right? Would any of you want to make a contribution to the comment that she has made?
So let me take access. Okay. So she talked about the income. I think that she mentioned at the beginning that it's good to see this as a business. Sometimes agric can be difficult to put in a business bracket, but once you put it in that bracket and see it as a business, then you will look at, okay, typical business, what do you need? Knowledge about the space, partnership when needed, and then you need to plan the way this business will roll out, okay? Keeping your books, making sure you get markets for your produce, and of course, as women also, value addition is very important.
Definitely.
So value addition is also critical. But just a little bit on access, okay? So access is very important, and that's when we talk about transportation of goods from rural communities to where people need it. It's not only from rural communities to urban. Of course, from the food basket, we need to move the food. Those of us in the industry also need to focus on access. And as Nestle, we pay a lot of attention to access, okay? So there are many things that we do. One aspect of access is affordability. So you have a tin of Milo, which is 400 grams, okay? And not everyone can afford a tin of Milo. So we do a sachet of Milo as small as 20 grams. So that one aspect of access, which is affordability, is catered for, because then you can buy a sachet of Milo. There are people who work and earn their incomes on a daily. So I can buy a sachet of Milo every day, rather than those of us who earn at the end of the month buying a tin of Milo. So you are dealing with access, okay? The other part of access is making the thing available where the person is and when the person needs it. So you see that you find our product in every corner shop. You come out of your house, your neighbor who is selling something has Milo and Nido. It just doesn't happen. It takes deliberate effort. It takes calculated business decisions to make sure that this product gets there. So that is how we fix the access problem. Sometimes people will say, oh, because you are a business, you need to sell to make profit. Yes, we are a business, we need to sell to make profit. But we have promised that we will produce nutritious food and beverages and make it available to our consumers. So if we don't deliver that promise and we don't produce the food, nutritious, affordable, and get it to them where they need it, we have not delivered on our promise. So that's how we do it. And once we look at it this way, the farmer will also look at it that way. But we need broad stakeholders, because the farmer will do their part. The middle people who move the goods to the different level need to do their part, and all of us need to play a part. And really, that's where the theme of this year's World Food Day is.
Great.
I also think, adding up to what Mami said, it's time to tell the story of the young women in agribusiness, because I know there are a lot of young women who are doing very well in the sector. And when such stories are being told, it will encourage those people who want to go into agriculture. Because trust me, I think the full story has not been told, because people they need attention from some stakeholders, or they need some pity, I should put it. Sometimes we don't tell the full story. Some are doing exceptionally well, and such stories need to be told. And I think that is one aspect that the Miss Agriculture Ghana platform seeks to portray. Women who are doing exceptionally well, even in our rural areas. There are some who are taking their kids to very good schools, they are running their homes, they are making sure that things are going on well, and these are all through farming or through agribusiness. So if you want to go into it, I don't know the side of story she has heard, but I think it's high time that we portray the attractive nature of it, let people know what actually goes into it. And I'm very excited about Mommy mentioned the aspect of agribusiness. Agriculture is a whole business on its own. Don't treat it like it used to be. You need to be very calculated, very, very strategic about it, and you need the right knowledge. Sometimes people want to just go into agriculture for going sake. Have you gained the right knowledge? You've just heard that, oh, it's good to grow potato, so you just want to go into potato? No. Even the soil you want to grow, have you tested the soil? Have you spoken to the right stakeholders to make sure that whatever you want to do in that sector, because at the end of the day, we are looking at it bearing fruit or being fruitful, not just investing and then the investment goes waste. So it's important as a young woman, if you want to go into that field, gain the right knowledge, speak to the right people. Don't just decide that you want to go into it and then find some land and then want to invest everything that you have into it. No. First of all, gain the knowledge, gain the right platform, speak to the right people who have been there before. And it also comes to mentorship. It's important that people who have gone through such processes will be able to mentor the young ones coming up. They've made the mistakes, they've seen the faults, they've seen the ups as well. They should be able to tell the story so that people don't repeat the mistakes that they made, so that we can make some progress in the sector. Else we will come back and then be talking about it's not doing well. No, people are doing well in the sector, especially those who are adding value to the raw materials that are being produced. People are doing so well, others are into the packaging. You can just find something along this, the chain and then do. It's very, very important. And then about the access or the availability as well, I think it's also important to also look at measures or policies where even after when there's bumper harvest, how we can store food. Because if the season of plantain is past, doesn't mean we are not getting plantain. Sometimes the cost goes so high that we don't store food, nothing. We need to put such policies in place as well. And I think doing that or going forward, when we do such things, even when the season is past, we still get food to eat. When you feel that you want to eat plantain today, you should be able to have access to plantain. And when you do that as well, it can also help.
Amazing. But that brings me to a question that I'm asking. It's a rhetorical question. What happened to the silos that Kwame Nkrumah built that was storing food for us? So we are asking you that question. We need you to answer that question as well. We'll go for our final commercial break. When we return, well, we'll open the phone lines for you to talk to us. To stay tuned. And you're welcome back to eTVGhana's African Women's Voices show. We are on the last part of our show, and I want us to discuss something really important before we open the phone lines. And this has to do with an activity on World Food Day that is going to be taking place on Friday. Okay, so we're going to let Debbie take us through what this activity is about and how you can also join to be part of it. Okay, so please take it away.
Great. So World Food Day is 16th. It's a Saturday, but because of the weekend, even FAO, I know the Ministry of Food and Agri, everyone is celebrating on Friday, which is the 15th. So we have this forum organized to commemorate the day, but more importantly, to highlight some of the issues. So we're going to have a panel discussion that's going to talk about sustainable food systems. How do we ensure that the food that we bring from the farm to our homes are safe? How do we ensure that we can encourage women in agriculture? So this topic is going to come in again. And we also talk about nutrition, you know, because sustainable food systems is not only about satisfying hunger, it's also satisfying, nourishing the body. So we are going to talk about nutrition, fortification and things like that. There are very interesting side attractions. We are going to set up what we call the iron market. Imagine. So the iron market has foods like beans, agushi, fish, and my maybe meat, some chicken, some egg.
I'm interested in this iron market. And this is happening where?
This is happening at Fiesta Royale.
Fiesta Royale on Friday.
Yes. And we are going to add vitamin C fruits because we know it helps in iron as well. So you have the oranges, you have some watermelon, you have pineapple and pepper. These are all ingredients that gives us the micronutrients that we need. And another interesting twist, we are going to have a chef on the day to cook for us what we call nutritious food can be affordable. So he's going to cook for us and show us that, look, we don't have to make it expensive. You can make it simple, you can make it easy, and we have what we call the Maggie recipe website, and there are foods there that are simple, are easy. So he's going to cook from the website and demonstrate right there at the forum that nutritious food can be affordable. Because of COVID restrictions, limited numbers will be in the forum, but we'll share information online so that people can see what we have done. And media will be there, so we'll amplify the conversation.
Nice. But can we get at least one person who gets to call through to get the opportunity to come and probably enjoy the shopping?
Let's do two.
Let's do two, right? Okay, you see, we just negotiated something right now for you guys. So if you're able to call through and make a contribution towards World Food Day or agriculture, food systems, food security, you just win yourself a voucher to shop
in the iron market.
In that iron market that's going to be set up on Friday at Fiesta Royale. So this voucher, with this voucher, you just buy. Oh my God, please open the phone lines right away. I need somebody to win these vouchers. I need it right now. So the phone number is right now at the base of your screen is 0555-657278. All right, and thank you so much, Rennie's Glitters. I'm enjoying my look. Thank you for what I'm wearing on my hair. Oh, there's going to be a wedding on Saturday. I'm likely to wear this or a different one. Please, as you're watching me, go to Rennie's Glitters and check out all the pictures there. You definitely find something that you love. All right. So while we wait for a call to come through, we'll continue with our conversation here. Please call. You know how I always move you to call. There's a caller. All right. Hello. Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
I'm Reverend Francis, calling from Obuasi.
Your name is Robert from Bubuashi.
Reverend Francis.
Okay, Reverend. Okay.
Yes,
so please, we need you to share with us your contribution.
My contribution then has to do with the balance, the diet and the distance that you're talking about. And then what we're supposed to take and I try to have a balance and then to boost our immune system. Yeah.
Okay, Reverend, it's true what you said. We need to have a balanced meal. So we should never forget that when we are talking about food security and everything, we need to have balanced meal. We don't just have to take only carbohydrates, only proteins. We need all of them to be in that portion that we are going to be consuming. So you just won yourself a voucher, oh my God, for Friday.
Wow.
So I hope you'll be able to make it. The time is 10 a.m. at Fiesta Royale. Okay, at 9:30. Okay. So please come around. When you come to Fiesta Royale, you see the Nestle setup, and then you come in there. Let us know you're the Reverend who called in, and we'll let you have your voucher. You listen to the whole conversation, and then you will shop and send to your loved ones at home.
Wow.
Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you.
All right. So we need one more person to call in and also win this voucher to shop. Okay, weekend is already around the corner, so if you get this voucher, you'll be able to buy those things you would have bought with money, and you save. All right, so please call in. Great. So to wrap up our conversation, because right now I'm sure that time is fast spent. Okay, I hear we have another caller. Hello, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from? Could you please speak up a little bit louder?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Please, what's your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is Kwala.
Okay, so please make your contribution.
I'm calling from Britain. My name is not.
Okay. Please make a contribution.
I'm very proud of what you're doing today about World Food Day. My question is, if an older lady wants to go into agriculture, what would you suggest?
If someone wants to get in touch with Nestle, what should they do?
Yes,
Okay, if somebody wants to get into agriculture, what should they do?
yes, an older lady.
Okay, all right. We can take the answers right now, but when you also come for the program at Fiesta Royal on Friday, you get a lot more details as to how you can start and what you need to do. Because the time we've got right now is not going to be enough to be able to share so much. But at the forum, we'll be able to share a lot more with you. So are we going to see you on Friday? Because you've won yourself a voucher.
I guess you will now.
Ah! All right, so we look forward to see you. Thank you so much. So we are closing the curtain.
Thank you so much.
Thank you too. All right. Wow, director is already telling me in my ears that our time is up.
Wow. You know what? We are going to
Tell
also
me.
provide seedlings.
Wow. Okay.
So maybe lettuce, sweet pepper, tomatoes in a very pretty pot.
Wow.
But before you get one of that, you have to commit that I'm going to nurture this and I'm going to grow it and I'm going to replicate it. So there'll be
That's
potted plants ready to be taken home as well.
Oh, thank you so much. You see,
I can't miss this
you
one.
can't miss this one, you know. Well, it's been fantastic, and the discussion around food security continues. In 2 weeks' time, we're going to be having FAO here in the studio to talk to us much more about the campaign they have run, because they have so many programs running right now, so they're unable to be here today to talk to us. But in 2 weeks' time, their programs would have ended, and then they will come and educate us much more on what they've done across Ghana and even across Africa to ensure that food security is sustained. All right, and the ladies who spoke to me today are very wonderful ladies from Nestle and from the organizer of Miss Agriculture.
But we have our grand finale coming up.
You have your grand finale coming up. Okay, and that's
next week on 22nd of October.
Okay.
Yes, at the Nat Hall, where we are crowning the National Agro Queen, who represents the brand at the National Farmers Day celebration. You have
wow.
to be there. You have to.
Okay, so at the Farmers Day, the Queen is going to be there.
Yes, yes. Each and every year we take the Queen, which is sponsored by the Women in Agriculture Development Directorate under the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. Yes, so this Friday I'm inviting the whole of Ghana to the Nat Hall.
The Nat Hall.
The Nat Hall.
And watch at what time?
Yes. At 6 p.m. Red carpet is 6 p.m. So we are saying we are slaying agric on that night. So they need to be there. It's a touch of green.
A touch of green.
Yes.
Hey, and I've won my green already. Afariwa Styles, please sew another green for me. Okay? And Rennie's Glitters, please. So I'm going to be attending. So another, fascinator. Awo's hair, thank you so much. Lizzie's Tomato Mix, Chana Shito, and the many, many, many more sponsors that will be coming on board. Thank you all so much. So until we meet again next week, do enjoy the rest of our interesting lineup for you. Bye-bye.